Yeah, I would have probably said cancel it this week
for,
if that
well, I mean, I feel
unthinkable
like we would
happened.
have had to just because like I mean, how can you not, you know?
Exactly.
How can you not talk about it? It's just I don't know. It had a chance to be very bad. I mean, we're going to talk about it a lot here coming up, but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I got my honest take on it too, and then my rant is with some of the comments I saw and read on Facebook
well,
afterward.
you saw what I said about the whole Ryan Blaney thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Newman reached out to Blaney, I guess is what I saw. And then him and Corey LaJoy talked on the phone.
I mean, and a lot of people are saying, make sure you feel bad. You say your prayer for Blaney LaJoy, and like, yeah, because you saw the picture of Blaney out of the car, and it
Yeah.
was like, he was he was rough.
Oh yeah. And then Corey LaJoy on his knees right by the car.
hmm That was right in front of us, actually. That
Hmm.
right there was right there in front of us.
Well, he said too in an interview LaJoy did that he's like, next thing you know, I see Ryan spinning across the track, head first into the wall with smoke, and next thing you know, I hear a thud.
It's just,
Yeah.
oh man. Share it to Facebook.
Hmm. So I got to turn down my volume on my phone. Oh, you are recording Logo Master. Sweet. We're not going to.
And then I see R.I.P. Rusty trending on Twitter, and I'm like, something happened to Rusty Wallace? No,
I,
it was a dog in a hospital or something like that,
oh, all right.
like a service dog.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
I was like, God damn, like that would have been crazy.
I tell you what, and I know we're discussing it on the show, but I'm so glad I got Twitter.
I just saw that tweet that you sent me about the Bob Pockrass and the Vegas thing. I was telling Gwen
Wait, what one?
when we were coming in to the track on Monday.
Uh huh.
I was like, the best thing they could do is start last night sending a hauler with the primary car for Vegas to the to Daytona.
Yep.
So this way they could just switch it off right there and just go straight to Vegas. But apparently a lot of the teams did go back.
Yeah, a lot of teams went back to North Carolina to the shop, and then they left the very next day. So you're thinking the drivers probably got in at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you have to go out west of Vegas. Just, just think they're out there for the next three races. Oh, excuse you. Ooh, fuck crap.
Jeez. And then I'm getting over some sort of either allergy or sickness or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little congested myself, so
Like I know last night was really bad.
coughing and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a foot cramp right now.
Let me
Oh,
load up the
shit.
chat and then we can realistically we can start
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
rolling.
Let me get my foot cramp done real quick. I'll be back in 1 second. I want to grab a pop too. Oh. Get those right when you're like, oh. You can't do shit.
Oh, excuse me.
How much do you think that was for 6 of these? $2.50. How much is for a 2 liter? $2. I think they're better deal. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. I just said him.
Again?
Wait, what's he doing? Again, what?
You just said on your notes.
No.
And that's live. That is the new intro to Ryan's rant right there.
What? I just said on my
I
nuts?
just sat on my nuts.
Sarah's laughing her ass off now. No, because well, since we're live anyway.
We're gonna dive into Ryan's rant.
Yeah, we're gonna dive in. So yesterday at work, we're allowed to sit down in chairs, and I'm wearing an enclosure. I'm tying on the door and everything, and I got up. I forgot what I had to do, but I go to sit down, and I'm right on both of them, and I'm in pain. So I messaged Sarah. So her and I work together, but we're in different departments. And I'm like, I just said on my nuts, and she starts laughing. And so I'm like, well, my 2 closest best friends are hurting right now. And she's trying to think, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I just said on my nuts.
Dude, you're insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a Ryan's work story rant. Damn, sitting on my... That's a good one to stack. That would be good too. We'll do the Ryan's rant segment into.
Yeah.
I said him.
All right.
I'm
gonna roll the intro.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Actually, let me clear my stuff real quick. Tony goes, Ryan sat on his nuts. Well, what a time to come in.
Tony came in at that part too, hon.
All right, rolling intro.
Hey, gentlemen, start your engine! I guess I'm out of control.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 75 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I'm your host, AJ. And if I can get this audio working right, with me as always, my co-host Ryan. What's going on, Ryan?
What is going on, AJ? Welcome back from my a very entertaining weekend at Daytona, man.
Yeah, it was. It the best way I could describe it was what I said on Monday in the Jimmy John's line was, well, yesterday we saw 20 laps in a Trump rally.
That we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? 2 days of racing is good with me. So,
And I do have to have a question. How cool was it to see the president at the track on Sunday? I know, as many of y'all know, I'm not into politics and anything like that. If it was Hillary there, but it was Trump there. I thought it was cool to see the president there. I remember when Ronald Reagan did it with for the Firecracker 400, where Richard Petty won, and Petty went right up to where Reagan was at to do the interview in Victory Lane in the suite at Daytona. But how cool was that, AJ?
I was there in '04 when Bush was there, but like I was really young when that happened, so I don't remember too much of that whole thing. However, seeing Air Force One fly in, we were just starting to walk up to our seats, and then like everyone's pointing in the sky, so we all turn around, and there you see Air Force One flying in on the backstretch. It does a little bit of like it shifts to the left, so that like you're seeing the top part of the plane as it shifts and turns.
Oh, nice.
And Trump basically did a lap around and then landed. That was cool. The way they did the gentlemen start your engines with him was perfect. They had the flyover come in at the exact perfect moment. The speech he gave beforehand, all that was nice. The best part, Ryan, had to have been seeing the presidential motorcade roll off pit lane and all 40 cars behind it rolling right behind him.
Yeah, you did get a good shot of that right there as they were coming down pit road, and you just Fox was playing a lot of the audio, like Clint Boyer's like, is the president really out on the track right now? And it was
Ryan,
cool.
the cool thing is like he had. So the way I can describe it is like I believe that the way the Beast works is there's two windows. One's like a private window, and then one's a clear window. Well, apparently they dropped the private window, and you could see right into it, and you could see Trump waving to everybody as he's going around the track. Like, it was really cool. And I didn't find out till I got home that night, or got back to the hotel that night, that he radioed in before they took the Beast off of the track, and radioed to all the drivers saying, good luck, God bless, and all that. And it was just really cool all around. Really,
and then
really cool.
oh man, I would go ahead, keep continuing. So I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, that's pretty much it that I've got on that. There wasn't really, you see a lot of these things, and I don't really like to get into politics on social media and on this platform, but like a lot of people have differences with the president, and
Yes,
a
we
lot
do.
of people agree with the president. However, even the people at the track who had their differences were excited to see the president there. The president being at a NASCAR race is huge for the sport. The last time a president was at a race was Bush in '04, and that was when NASCAR was really booming. Like that
Yes, it
that
was.
was the peak. Because after that, it started to fall a little bit. It's always a good thing, and it's good things will come from it. And I know when I was listening to Door Bumper Clear earlier today, they said the same thing. Like it is great for the sport.
Oh, I do remember what I was going to ask you. I forgot. I thought I saw it on Twitter, but were they chanting 4 more years at the track?
I heard chants of 4 more years, USA, USA. The shirts that people were selling outside the track were gold.
Oh, really?
I
Are they
can't say
PT?
what they said on them because they
Okay.
were filled with expletives, but
Oh yeah, not surprised.
I did like the one that said the MAGA, and it said my ass got acquitted.
Oh,
Like that
jeez.
that was funny, but I mean it was good. No matter what side of the fence you're on, and I put that on my personal Facebook afterwards. Was it doesn't matter if you love him or you hate him. To see a sitting president in person like that is such a surreal moment.
Yeah, I know when Jamie Little interviewed him, she looked really nervous too when she was interviewing him on the broadcast. So
I still haven't rewatched the broadcast of it. And for obvious reasons, and this is probably as good a time as any to get into what happened at the end of the Daytona 500 on the final lap with Ryan Newman. Usually in this introduction is when we go over like just random banter about what happened on the weekend and all that, and I'd be telling you everything going on with Daytona. There was a point after the final lap and after we left the track, Ryan, where I didn't know how you and I were going to be able to go into this week. So So, as most of you have seen, Ryan Newman was blocking Ryan Blaney on the final lap. Things got a little squirrely. Ryan Newman got turned into the wall, flipped the car just about as soon as he hit the wall. It flipped the car,
Yes.
and then proceeded to get hit on the driver's side, right in the window net roof area, full speed by Corey LaJoy. No response, like no immediate reaction. Safety crews quickly got there. You see the pit crew running down to the car. The amount of paramedics, first responders that were there, you knew immediately it wasn't normal. And even when you saw it happen at full speed like that, you knew it wasn't good. So we're sitting there waiting, and normally with any big wreck, the only way that you know, unless you're listening to it on a scanner, is if the crowd starts cheering, you know that, like, a driver's gotten out, a driver's signaled that he's okay, and it's going to kind of continue on business as usual. I record the final lap to every race I go to. I was recording. I recorded the wreck happen all the way up to the end, and I will not share the video anywhere. I will not post any pictures or anything like that. However, excuse me. In the video, I say at the end, "Oh, thank God," because I start hearing the crowd start cheering. Excuse me again. So I hear the crowd start cheering, and I think, okay, because I can't see the driver's side. Ryan has gotten out of the car, or he signaled that he's okay. You know, so you could hear me audibly say in this video, "Oh, thank God." Well, that was 20 minutes before they loaded him into the ambulance. So I stopped recording at that point. I thought everything was going to be okay. And then I look back, and I still see them at the window. And I don't know what everyone else was cheering to. It might have been Corey LaJoy getting out of the car and walking away or whatever. But I see them start rolling out the black screens. And the only time I've ever remember anyone telling me about when they roll out the black screens was when Senior died at Daytona in 2001. And at that moment, it immediately went from, "Oh, he's going to get out of this, that's amazing," to, "Oh my God, this could be the worst case scenario." Nobody left the track. Nobody moved a muscle until he got loaded up into an ambulance and was taken away. It was the most quiet I've ever heard a track when I was leaving. You could hear a pin drop leaving Daytona that day. It was surreal, and like I said, that was when we started our trek home. On the way home, it was like an hour into our drive, and this is after the hour of sitting in traffic getting out of the parking lot. It came over Twitter or something. My girlfriend was following it, and they said that he has non-life-threatening injuries, and I was amazed.
I remember calling you guys to let you guys what was going on too. So
Ryan and I was frantically on the phone with you all the way leaving the track. Like, have they said anything? What's going on? I don't ever remember feeling that way ever at a racetrack. I've never experienced anything like that. It was scary. It was very scary. And then to hear the words that non-life-threatening injuries was amazing. It was, the best way I can describe it is, we don't know these people personally. I think, Ryan, you've met Newman a couple times.
I've met Newman last year, but I'll let you finish, and then I want to say my piece on what had happened. So go ahead and continue.
Yeah, so we don't know these people personally at all, but when you witness something like that happen, whether you're watching on TV or you're in the grandstands, it's almost as if you do know them, because that's how you feel. You feel like that's, one of your friends that just happened to. it's a weird feeling that you don't want. It's like that nauseating pit in your stomach feeling. I didn't think he was going to be out of the hospital this week, and then you start seeing the posts from Roush that he's walking around, or he's standing up, or he's cracking jokes with the nurses and his family and all that, and you're like, wow, he's doing really good. And to see him, that picture with his daughters yesterday, and him standing up in the hospital, holding them in each hand, was one of the best things I personally have ever seen. And then to see the video of him walking out of Halifax Medical Center yesterday was like was just incredible, amazing, awesome, and it really is a testament to how safe these cars are now. It credit goes out to the NASCAR Research and Development Center, who have spent timeless hours over the years making these cars safer. A part of the roll cage that was put in called the Newman bar,
Yep.
after a crash that Ryan was in a couple years ago, I believe at Talladega, ended up really could have saved his life then at that moment. And then on Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday, was the anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's death. And
Yep.
as sad as it is that we lost Dale Earnhardt that day in 2001, I feel that had that not happened, we would have lost Ryan Newman on Sunday. And it's like I said, it goes out to everything. And the last thing I want to say about it was, we had people who weren't even NASCAR fans, just sport fans in general, or people who aren't even sport fans who saw a replay of the crash, all come together. Everyone came together. No one was trying to spew out wrong information or rumors they were hearing. It was just everyone in support of Ryan Newman, his wife, his family, his kids, and it was awesome. It was amazing. It was perfect. That is why I always tell people that the NASCAR community is the best sports community there is. How in times of sadness and all that, we bring each other up, and we all come together as one. I might not be putting this in the best words, but I'm not trying to pre-rehearse anything here or say something that I wrote down. It's genuinely how I feel about everything that happened, and the fact that he could be racing here in a couple weeks is amazing. Because, like I said, we all feared the worst. Every single person watching as it happened live feared the worst. Tony just said that the media coverage on it was handled so well. Instead of rumors and maybes, everyone waited for the info to be correct. That is exactly right. There is so many times where the media just jumps out and tries to be the first one to get it out. But no, everyone wanted to be factual, 100% sure that was what was happening, because otherwise you get slandered on it. You just get pushed and pushed and pushed, and as much as it was bad, it was just very genuine, I guess would be the outpouring support and all that. It was truly incredible. It was truly incredible. I'm so happy that Ryan is okay and that he is back with his family right now, and he's walking around. And those pictures, Ryan, you couldn't tell an injury on him.
No, not at all. Especially the one that him and Truex.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see. Truex was so happy. He's like, "Hey, I got my fishing buddy back."
Go ahead, Ryan. I've said pretty much my piece on everything, and it's just, oh my God.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you can ask my girlfriend Glenn, when we were there, like, that was, at that moment, that was so sad. It was just so sad at that moment, and it was the perfect miracle, I guess you could put it.
I'd have to say that too. Real quickly, like you said, you were there, so you felt it too. But watching it on TV, coming out of turn 4, and he hooked into the wall, and next thing you know, you see him sliding across. You don't even see the Corey LaJoy hit until the replay. But I seen that car hood smashed in and how it was damaged, and I'm telling Sarah, I'm like, oh my God, he's He's gone. He's gone. I'm like, there's no way. There's no.
You could hear Ryan in the stands. You could hear both impacts,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and we're all the way down by turn 1, and you hear clear as day both impacts.
There's video like right before the start finish line, like people are screaming, "He's dead! He's dead! He's dead!" And I'm like, and I was worried about, I'm like, I've been watching this sport for a very, very long time. I thank my dad for that, as I did on episode 1 of the show. I have never seen a car that badly damaged before. And for him to get through the way he is right now, up, like you said, walking, talking with the family, the picture with the girls, I that was so emotional right there to see the picture of with the kids. That was such a cool picture to see. But then, like I said, we're watching it, and they're Hamlin's doing his thing in victory, or before he got to victory lane. He gets to victory lane, and the mood changed for him, and he knew that there was something wrong. And then when they interviewed Ryan Blaney, and I'm like, oh man, Blaney's like, man, we're just praying for him right now. And then I go to Twitter, and they're like, NASCAR's asking all the media to leave pit road. I didn't know anything until for the black curtains, until there was, I think it was somebody on, I think it would maybe have been Bob Parker said it, or it might have been somebody else. Don't quote me on that. That said they're bringing the black tarps out, and I like you said, the only time I remember them ever using them was for Dale Sr. And that's when it hit. I'm like, holy cow, And then my brother, who's a giant Newman fan, you can even ask Tony. Like, I asked him how he was holding up, because he didn't know what was going on either, and he's like, man, I'm really, really worried right now. And then the word got out that there was going to be a press conference. This was about 10 o'clock. They said that he was loaded into an ambulance and taken to Halifax right there. Man, they do a great job at that hospital, being that close to this track, which is awesome. So we get the information that, serious injuries, but non-life-threatening. Throughout all of this, the entire thing, and this is right here, I even put on Steve O'Donnell's Twitter page, give credit to where credit's due for the track safety team at Daytona International Speedway. If it wasn't for them and how quickly they got to this car, who knows what would have happened. And I've had like 100 likes on this right now, and it's insane how quickly they got to this car. You even said, AJ, how quickly they got to the car. And then
it was within seconds of that car stopping. The first emergency vehicle was there.
Yep. And it's like everybody did a fantastic job with this. And like you said, to see him walk out of that hospital with his 2 daughters by his side, absolutely incredible. Because I tell you what, I honestly thought he was gone. I honestly did. Because like I said, it was taking a while for the information to get out, but I'm glad we got the information out right instead of incorrectly.
A couple things I want to hit on this, Ryan, was first of all, there, out of all the media platforms there are on social media, I didn't see a single person try to use this to boost their pages or their views or their hits and all that. First of all, that was incredible. That, honestly, that in of itself was perfect. That no one tried to use this to their advantage, and why would you? But in the time that we live in now, it happens so often.
Yes, it does. I want to get my. I'll have 2 rants this week, but I want to get one out right now. I know it was exciting. It was Daytona. It's the 500. We had 3 great finishes, minus the wreck. All great finishes. I'm on Xbox Monday night with Tony, and Tony's on Bleacher Report reading all these gutless assholes. And I'm going to say assholes because that's what these people are. They're like, how can a guy get hurt from turning left for 500 miles? NASCAR's not a sport. This and that. It's the same people every single time. You don't like something, don't comment about it. I know you're trying to troll people, but stop doing it. it's beginning to make a lot of people angry. And like I said, the guy, I forgot, maybe Tony can help me out. I know he's in the chat right now, but one of the guys quote, "How can you get hurt turning left? Oh, I could have survived that. Oh, I would survive that. No, get hit at 190 miles an hour, driver's side."
You know, I'm typing back to Tony now in our chat. That was brought up another thing, that when people say that NASCAR's just left turns, I give you this. I give you what happened this past weekend, the Daytona 500. I've seen people that I know personally who have always said that NASCAR is just making left turns. This week have come to me and said, this has me so much more interested now. The way that the safety of these cars are, how anybody can survive that no matter any form of racing is incredible. A couple things I want to hit on, Ryan, rant-wise, is I saw one news article say that Ryan Blaney maliciously turned Ryan Newman into oncoming traffic, was the exact quote of what I saw. And it irritated the ever-loving hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. I apologize for using the a-hole, but
no, you're fine. You're fine, because
that's what these people are like.
Ryan, it's like, first of all, it was not done on purpose, and there was at no point where you thought it was on purpose. It's coming to the checkered flag at the Daytona 500.
It's a racing deal. That's what that was.
It was just an accident. It was an accident.
One of the guys I work with,
it's the dark side of super speedway racing.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the guys we work with, he's like, man, I watched the last 10 laps, and he asked me, he's like, Ryan, was there anybody's fault on that last accident? And I'm like, no, there wasn't. They were going for the win of the Daytona 500. Newman did his job blocking. Blaney did his job going where he thought he could go, and Hamlin was in the right place at the right time. That's what can be said. And you had mentioned it when you were going on about your thoughts about what had happened and your perspective on it. We did meet Ryan Newman last June at the Roush Open House. Very, very caring, very down to earth, sincere with everybody that was there. Like we took, and like, yeah, Logan was sleeping at the time, and I'm like, hey, this is the future race fan right here. And then he's like, he looks in the stroller, he's like, oh, he's a sleeping future race fan. I'm like, yeah, he is. But then Logan woke up, and there was nobody by him, and I'm like, I'll walk back over there. What the hell? And I'm like, hey, he woke up, and Newman's like, hey, you woke up, and he waved to him and all that. Logan didn't know what the hell was going on, but it was the fact that he like remembered who that Logan was and that we were and all that. It was so cool. He is such a nice guy. I know my brother's met him a couple times. I know my buddy Ryan's met him a couple times too, and he's such a nice guy, down to earth man.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking back to that. I thought you posted a picture of Newman and Logan together.
Oh, that was Joey Logano and Logan.
There was a tweet, and I just went back to look it up, and it was from @CJ_Merc6. And the tweet said, this was 2 days ago now, so...
Yeah, 2 days ago.
It was good morning. This was a different Ryan Newman this year. Guy was all in, ready to win races, lost weight, mine was right, and one race in, all the promise is simply an afterthought. A general reminder to be thankful you woke up and to be the best version of you today. And I thought that tweet right there said it all. I mean, wow. Ryan Newman came into this year, I mean, almost in a similar situation as to how Dale Earnhardt came into the 2001 season. Everyone talks about how happy he was to be at the track and everything that happened in the off season to come into the season and all that. It was like they're not the same drivers. They don't have the same accomplishments. And that is only championships. The only thing that Newman's missing in regards to that, and number of race wins. But
Newman's won two of the biggest.
It was almost. It's almost a mirror image in a sense, and fortunately, we still have Ryan with us now. My rant was to the people saying that it was classless for Denny Hamlin to celebrate. So, I saw a lot of tweets on Sunday talking
Monday.
about how Denny Hamlin is wrong for celebrating and all that, and I just want to leave it with this. The man celebrated winning the Daytona 500, the crown jewel, granddaddy of them all races in NASCAR. This is the one that you want the trophy of. You want this trophy more than any other one for one single race in a season. He just won it for a third time. That is something that has only been done by 3 other drivers to win at least 3 of them.
Yep.
And the other 2 were Petty and who was the other one? It was Petty, Hamlin, and I can't think of who else won 3.
It wasn't Kill. Hold on.
Regardless.
Continue.
Regardless.
I'll find it.
Regardless. After a race like that, you celebrate with your team on the radio. You unplug. You're not listening anymore. You've taken the helmet off, which, you've taken your earplugs out. You're coming back to the start-finish line, and, well, I think Denny had gone down pit road because he knew there was a wreck to do the lug nut check, make sure that was all good, then went back out and celebrated going through the infield and all that. Denny Hamlin did not know that something was seriously wrong until he got out of the car after he celebrated and found out from someone telling him that it was they weren't doing a start-finish line interview with the winner. He didn't know until that moment that something was seriously wrong. You saw when they got to victory lane, he got out of the car. There wasn't a real long confetti raining down and the Gatorade splashed everywhere. It was, get out of the car, raise your hand, get right down. And then first thing out of his mouth was, we're really thinking about Ryan right now. Or I'm paraphrasing what he actually said, but,
Jeff Gordon, by the way.
Jeff Gordon was 3?
Yep, 97, 99, 2005.
Yep, I was at 2005. So
Dale Jarrett, 93, 96, 2000. Bobby Allison has 3 in 78, 82, and 88.
Petty has 4, doesn't he?
Cal Yarbrough has 4, 68, 77, 83, 84. Richard Petty, has yeah.
That is a who's who list of NASCAR, and
yep.
We're going to talk about it when we go into Gas and Go, which we haven't even started yet. But yeah, people have no right to call Denny Hamlin classless, because I give once again an example is the victory lane interview and celebration. There wasn't one.
And I on Monday night, Monday when he was celebrating on the grass, I'm like, oh, come on, guys, Newman's possibly still in the car. I was upset about it. Then he got to victory lane. And then that's when I saw in the interview. And then they interviewed Coach Gibbs. And then my mood changed because I was mad. But Dale Jr. said it the other day. He celebrated winning the Daytona 500. If he knew what was going on, he'd have gone right to victory lane. I guess he unplugged to the radio. A lot of drivers do that after the race. So,
Ryan, I don't really want to point fingers to anybody on this, but maybe this is something that NASCAR looks into and says, okay, if we see that there is a serious wreck, it's our job to let the team know that no celebration, just go straight to victory lane. We've had such and such happen on the front stretch, on the back stretch, in one of the turns. We need to keep the track clear right now. Go right to victory lane.
And I think that's something they're going to address now since this incident happened.
Yeah, that's that. That's, like I said, that's the dark side of super speedway racing. Yep. We are now past it. Ryan Newman has come through it. He is with his family right now, and I can't wait till he gets back in a race car. I've never been a big Ryan Newman fan on the track, but I always knew about what he did off the track for charity and his rescue ranch and for kids. As a person, I just felt awful for him. and his family.
He was on an episode of Tank before. And
I've seen that episode too. I was thinking back to that as well. When they did it for the ranch, they did the tank for the ranch.
One of the more cooler episodes. Like I said, man, the guy, he's one of those more enjoyable guys that you like. If you ever got a chance to meet the guy, I mean, he, like I said, he's
on the track. He's always a pain because he races just so damn hard. But that's how he's always raced. He's never changed his racing style since he was a rookie. So like in that sense, like, you know, he drives me nuts when he's on the track because he's so hard to get around. But off the track, you always know about how great of a person he is.
Getting paid for what he does.
With that, Ryan.
Ass and go.
Well, Daytona was cool. Got to the track early Sunday morning. Did everything outside the track. Got inside to the fan zone infield area. Was walking side by side with Christopher Bell. Didn't even realize it until I looked over. And I was like, oh, damn.
Did you say anything to him?
I didn't, because I knew they were on their way to the driver's meeting.
Oh,
so I was like, I'm not going to stop them. You know, they're at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool. Then we saw the Trump thing and the cars go on the track for the 20 laps. And then it rained.
Yeah, you kept calling me about updates. Like, well, I'm following on Twitter right now because Fox is showing last year's Daytona 500, and everybody was like so excited to see DW back in the booth.
It was. I didn't know that. But yeah, so I'm calling you because after the second rain delay, I was like, we have all these bags. I'm like, it's free to go back to the car. It's free to come back into the track after you've already entered. Why not go back to the parking lot, drop all our stuff off, come back, and we'll see the end of the race? No, not what happened at all. There's 4 main gates at Daytona, Ryan. 4 main gates. We're all the way at number 4 if we're going from left to right. So we get off at 1, have to go all the way across to 4, which was the Advent Health gate. Right next to it is the Chevrolet gate. We got to the Chevrolet gate, downpour. Just a sky opened up. And I had got done on the phone with you saying,
yeah,
it looks really dark. Maybe it's just the night rolling in. We're going to go. We're going to go back to the track. We're going to, you know, because if it starts, I want to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, didn't start. Then, you know, we had a hotel room as it was. So we debated back and forth for a little bit on coming back Monday because, you know, you want to get home, you want to get ready for work and all that. So my thought process was, well, if Chase goes out of this thing early, maybe we start an early trek home because, you know, we both have to work the next day. And
you did? Oh, man.
Well, then I didn't have to work the next day. My girlfriend had to work the next day, so we had to get home. Anyway, so we're like, you know, maybe if that happens, which, truth be told, my plan was to stay the whole time. I was just saying that to get her to kind of agree with me. We won't say anything more than that.
Yeah, hopefully she's gonna.
So Chase got turned on the last lap. We saw the whole race. He got turned on the last lap. Well, we're already here now.
We're already here now.
But
man,
that day was cool. The Monday was cool because our fan zone passes still worked. We had some problems with our tickets because they're supposed to scan your ticket when you leave to re-enter. Our tickets weren't scanning, so they ripped off the barcode and said this will still be good for a re-entry. I was stressing all day because I didn't know if they would acknowledge that or not. We get to the gate, they said, you're not the only person with this. You're fine. Come on in. You know, thank you for coming back. Everyone we ran into that worked there said thank you for coming back. So, like, it was really cool.
I'll tell you one thing, too. I don't know if you could tell, but on TV, that place looked packed still on a Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
That place, there was a noticeable few empty seats more down towards turn 1 area.
And you expect that a lot of people fly into this thing and they schedule leave on Monday. And
yep.
Anyway, as this thing is going off, I have to turn this off because that is going to be a distraction for me.
That's why when I go down there, I'm coming back on a Tuesday.
So anyway, we get into the fan zone and it was really cool because you're only, when you have hot passes, do they let you behind the pits? Well, this time they were letting you behind the pits if you had the fan zone pass. mind you, just walking through, you couldn't really stop and talk to anybody. You just keep going, take a look, but keep it moving because you're not supposed to be back here. So just go. You know what I mean? I did stop, take a couple pictures of Chase Elliott's pit box and all that because I thought that was really neat. I got a picture of damn near every car in the field, as you may have seen on Facebook. I posted on our podcast Facebook page if you want to check it out. It was, honestly, I got to do so much more on Monday than I could any other time there. It was really cool because they let you walk usually right at pit entrance. They rope it off. You can't walk any farther down. You can't walk, any farther back.
Yeah.
They had it all the way down to where you see the line cut in for pit entrance, where you see the white line veer off where the pace car comes off.
Yeah.
That's where they had it roped off on Monday. So you could walk all the way down. Like I said, saw every car, took pictures of just about every car. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's like when the Monday race I went to last June. Like, we went almost right up to Victory Lane. I'm like, they never let us do that.
No, it was
and you know what I'm thinking that is? I think that's NASCAR's way of saying, hey, thank you for coming back on a Monday. Or in case of the one year we went back on a Tuesday when they ran it on Tuesday. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being a loyal supporter of our track. Thanks for just, being an overall supporter of the sport.
The Secret Service inspections were cool because that was something I never experienced before. And then just the last thing, Ryan, before we get into gas and go, dual races. Joey Logano wins dual 1, and William Byron started off the year right with a win in dual number 2.
I fell asleep during it, and guess who was angry when I woke up to see AJ's message? Hey, congratulations. Wait, what I missed?
Yeah, congrats, Willie B, I think is what I said.
Yeah, and then so luckily I had it still on FS1, so I rewound it and I saw him win. I'm like, yeah! Oh, it's 12:30. Damn. But no.
I felt bad for Daniel Suarez, who got.
I did too.
He should have been in the show, man. But anyway.
All right, gas and go time, maybe?
We got some gas and go. I'm getting over either a sickness or an allergy thing because I'm coughing like crazy. So if you hear me cut out, that is why. You heard me say excuse me a couple times earlier. That is why. Let's get into some gas and go, Ryan. Let's recap the weekend in like a jam-packed deal.
All right.
Gas and go through, we recap what happened on this past race weekend. And Friday night, kicking things off, was the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series, where Grant Enfinger wins an intense battle with Jordan Anderson in what could have been a huge upset for the underdogs there. Just what a finish. It was a short track finish.
Yes, it was. And I was yelling for Jordan Anderson.
Oh, I was
too.
I
like Enfinger. I like Jordan Anderson. But, man, what a finish. And I'm thinking to myself, Sarah was already in bed by the time this thing's over, which, hey, I'm all right with it. But I'm thinking to myself, man, if this is the way Speed Weeks Daytona is kicking off, man, we're in for a hell of a weekend. And boy, was I not wrong. We had a little rain delay to start the truck race, but man, unbelievable racing. Great finish. You had some big wrecks. What was it? Ty Majeski
on his lid, yeah. Man. Like, almost like an exact replica of the way Newman's car finished.
Yep.
That slide across the track. He slid, Ryan, what was it, all the way from just the end of the start-finish line all the way down to turn 1?
Yeah, almost turn 2.
That was a ride, man. And even Ty Majeski said after that, he goes, the biggest fear is someone hitting you when you're in that spot.
Yes.
So,
I remember that interview.
Foreshadowing.
Yes.
How about Natalie Decker records the highest finish for a female driver in the truck series? That's awesome. Yes. That team really needed to start off on a high note, and they did. Your stage winners in that one, first stage was Riley Herbst, second stage is Grant Enfinger, and your race winner was Grant Enfinger. Your top 5, Grant Enfinger, Jordan Anderson, Cody Rohrbaugh. See, I even phonetically spelled it out on the show sheet.
Nice.
Derek Kraus and Natalie Decker, your standings following the race here at Daytona. Remember, this is now 10 drivers in the playoffs. Enfinger, Austin Hill, Johnny Sauter, Jordan Anderson, Cody Rohrbaugh, right? We right
Yeah,
there?
Roball. Yeah.
Derek Krause, Natalie Decker, and Brett Moffitt. Your next race is Las Vegas this Friday night tomorrow, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern on FS1.
What did you think of the truck race? I thought it was a very entertaining race. I
I
like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I like the. I don't like the fact that FS1 took Phil Parsons out of the booth. I'm kind of.
See, I was just about to get to this because I was going to say where I was, I couldn't listen to it with audio, but I saw it. And
Yeah.
actually, I was able to pull up on my phone afterwards and I watched the end of it, and I did notice that.
Yeah, they got him in the. It's him in Todd Bodine in studio with. What's her name? I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, he's in the. I don't like that. I like Phil in the booth. He's a Michigan man. I like him in the booth. He does a great job calling races.
And Patrick in our chat says, hope Ty has better luck in the Truck Series race tomorrow night. That is no doubt.
Yeah, no kidding.
He needs a strong finish tomorrow.
Yes, he does.
Moving on, we got the Xfinity Series. Ryan, this was an awesome race.
Yes, it was.
Noah Gragson gets his first career Xfinity Series win. It came at Daytona. His celebration said it all.
Yes, it did.
Like Dale Jr. said, I'm just going to let him take it in and all that, because that is, hands down, like we said earlier, the biggest stage you can win at. And he dukes a hazard, the hood of his car. He climbed the fence. He built a campfire.
Yeah. The only thing he was missing is marshmallows.
That dude had a hell of a time celebrating his first win at Daytona in the Xfinity Series. It was awesome.
Speaking of which, Noah Gragson celebrating. They had a live stream at Daytona for the 500, and during the rain delay, he's on it, and they're talking to him, and they're like, "How much of last night do you remember?" He's like, "Last night, I don't remember much of it." So basically, they partied it up too, and then on NASCAR and NBC, Marty Snyder, Myatt Snyder's dad, was interviewing Noah, and Junior comes in. He's like, "Can you please stop this interview now? We want to go party."
Yeah, I saw that.
And Marty's like, "I work with him, so I better do what he says," basically, which is pretty cool. One thing that surprised me about this race, and it's before the race even started, Colleague Racing, a team that I'm getting very behind in the Xfinity and the Truck Series when they run, getting behind them, but AJ Allmendinger and Ross Chastain both missed the field. Very, very shocked right there, but Ross Chastain did get in with the
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green's machine. Yep.
Yeah, that was really cool too that he still got in there. A little bit of a WTF moment, Ryan. Jeremy Clement's hood just like disintegrated in the middle of the backstretch.
Now you see it, now you don't.
It was there, and then it wasn't.
Shout out too, real quickly, to both the Harrison Burton and Jeb Burton running up front all day. Kept showing the moms on TV, which was funny. Their reactions were always priceless, especially Kim. Whenever Jeff won a race, her reactions were priceless. So I thought that was a pretty cool moment right there to see the cousins running up front there. And like you said, overall, what a fantastic race.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Allgaier and Jeremy Clements also got into a wreck together, which was a little bit strange. That was when the lead pack was catching up to who was leading at that point? Was it Ryan Siegel still on the track or someone like that? That was didn't pit yet. And the main field was catching up, and then that's when Allgaier and Clements got into it. Jeb Burton got collected in the big one. Unfortunately, he was having a great run. And just great race and great battles between Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe, and eventually Harrison Burton there at the end. Just great race, and Noah Gragson had to earn that win, and he sure did. It was awesome. It was awesome. We had a wreck coming to the line.
Yeah.
It was truly a race that had it all. It had it all for you. It was a hell of a way to kick off the Xfinity season. I can't wait till Vegas on Saturday.
You know what the best part, too, about that race was? I mean, yeah, Timmy Hill runs in the Cup Series, but there was none of the big names. No Kyle Busch, no Kyle Larson, Keselowski, Logano. And by the way, I thought Keselowski and Boyer were spot on in the booth.
Did I hear that Boyer and Stewart are going to be doing a race together?
I don't know if that. I know
I
Boyer's
thought
gonna-
I heard that they were doing a race together, and
Oh, boy.
I can't wait till that happens.
Well, it was funny. They were Keselowski's trying to use the telestrator to point out the Jeremy Clements hood, and the telestrator's all over, and you hear Boyer make a smart ass comment and all that. It was they have fun with it, which was awesome. And Adam Alexander, I like him. He just played along with it, which was good. It was a very and then it was very entertaining to watch. Very entertaining television.
Here it is, Ryan. Here's a little excerpt. Three-time champion Tony Stewart, inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in January, joins Fox NASCAR play-by-play announcer Adam Alexander and driver analyst Clint Boyer to call the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Talladega Superspeedway Saturday, April 25th.
Oh boy!
Oh, man.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Record that, because that's going to be awesome.
Did you hear who's in the booth this weekend?
I did not.
No, that's at Bristol. Excuse me, but Kirk and Kyle Busch are going to be in the booth at Bristol.
Oh, that means Kyle's not in that race.
Woohoo! All right.
So your stage winners, first stage was Jeb Burton, second stage Justin Allgaier, and your race winner was Noah Gragson. By the way, I pre-ordered the diecast of that because that was a cool paint scheme Gragson was racing this weekend.
Oh, the Bass Pro car?
Yeah, that Bass Pro True Timber car, that looked really cool. I had to get that one for my collection. Your top five: Noah Gragson, Harrison Burton, Timmy Hill. Great run for Timmy Hill to finish third. Brandon Jones, we're not going to get that wrong with Eric Jones this year, and Chase Briscoe round out your top five. Your standings following Daytona: Noah Gragson, Justin Haley, Harrison Burton, Brandon Jones, Brandon Brown, Ryan Sieg, Michael Annette, Chase Briscoe, Jeb Burton, Ray Black Jr., Alex LeBay, and JJ Yaley. It's only 12 in the field, correct? 12, yeah.
Yes, 12. Speaking of Timmy Hill, I know we won't talk about him probably during the Daytona 500, or go over, but during the duels, if he didn't make it into the Daytona 500 with the team that he was racing for, that they would have had to shut down that program if he didn't make it into.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, yep.
I didn't know that. I knew it was great to see him get in the show, although I felt bad for JJ Yaley because I thought, man, I hate these ones that they have to go home afterwards if they don't make it, you know?
Yeah, especially like the the underfunded teams, man. You know how much it costs to run one of these cars and try to make it into the show. But it was so cool to see Timmy Hill race his way into the Daytona 500, and he was running top 10 too prior.
He was
to
up front
the,
for a majority of the race.
Yeah,
up until he wrecked.
Yeah, unfortunately, the finish doesn't show how he ran. Finished 27th, but he was up there.
Next race, Ryan, is Saturday at Las Vegas, 4:00 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Now, we move on to the NASCAR Cup Series, where we've told you before, Denny Hamlin wins. Close finish between Ryan Blaney and Ryan Newman and Chris Buescher in there, too.
Yes.
This is Denny Hamlin's third victory in the Daytona 500. Ryan, currently, actively, if we're going to Daytona, I'm taking the 11. That dude is hands down currently the best driver at Daytona.
I there's no denying that. As much as I'm not a huge Denny Hamlin fan, but hey, credit to where credit's due. Guy can get it done. There is something that you sent me the other day in our Facebook Messenger, where you sent the picture of the caution, where on the score monitor it had the caution.
I can debunk that now, by the way.
What?
That picture that I sent you was taken from a international broadcast.
Okay.
Which put that graphic up when there truly wasn't a caution displayed yet.
All right.
So that debunks that theory of, hey, Blaney was in the lead when the lights came on, which even another picture showed that Hamlin was in the lead when the lights came on. So even if it went back to last scoring loop, it was still Hamlin the winner. I just want to know, do we end it when the lights come on or at last scoring loop? Because I've seen it done both ways.
Yeah, and I don't even think they know how to end it.
I just want a definitive way to know, do the lights end it? Do Does the checkered flag end it? Does the last scoring loop end it? Which I've never liked last scoring loop.
No, I don't either.
I want it to be who's leading the time the caution comes out.
When those lights come on the boards all around these speedways. I know, like, we focused a lot on what happened with Ryan Newman and the ending of the race. I want to go back to stage 1. Hendrick Brigade's leading.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let me just introduce this as Ryan's rant number 2.
Yes, you can call that. So my mom's off. My mom wasn't working on Monday, and she wanted to come over and see Logan. I'm like, you're more than welcome to come over. She's like, yeah, I'll bring over some dinner. Sweet. KFC brought over. Getting my food, just sat down. Oh, and there's a car spinning. See, it's the 24. And I'm like, I wonder who was behind him. And I told Sarah, I'm like, it's gonna be Stenhouse. It's gonna be Stenhouse. It's gonna be Stenhouse. Sure as hell, they go to replay. Ricky Stenhouse, stage 1, trying to win the Daytona 500 at the end of stage 1. We've seen it before with him. We're going to see it again with him. Hendrick guys and drivers, I like, please stay away from Ricky on stage 1 of these formerly known as restrictor plate tracks. Please, because I was irate. My mom's like, man, you are
I
irate.
couldn't say
My mom's
any
like,
better myself.
I've never seen you act like this for a race. I'm like,
I've got to say though, Stenhouse to me, besides that moment, was entertaining all weekend. I really thought Stenhouse was entertaining this weekend.
and I'm not, I just don't get it because Byron had a fast car all weekend. It showed in the duel too. It showed in the practices, both of them, Friday and Saturday practice. Friday when they had that, what was it, like 60 down there?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
People were probably in winter coats, weren't they? In 60-degree weather.
I know I was. I went down to the bathroom and I changed my clothes in the bathroom. I was like, it's too damn cold out here.
and then Sunday or Monday when they were running, Hendrick had the speed up there, and then we're coming down the end of the stage. Let's go crazy.
I'm telling you, had all Hendrick cars stayed in it, Chase Elliott wins that Daytona 500.
I think so too. I think it's coming down.
Because
one had a good car. I think they all 4 had a good car. And
Ryan, this is me being biased. I get that. There was one car all day long trying to make moves towards the front and got to the lead pretty much by himself. And it was Chase.
Yep.
And he won the stage to show for it. That dude was all the way mired back in the 20s and single-handedly, as I'm watching each lap, picking off one car at a time all the way up to the front. He finally had help with Jimmy, Bowman, and Byron. But when those 4 Hendrick cars got locked up, there was nobody quicker on the track.
No, there wasn't. And it's funny, too, speaking of which, because practice, you've seen it. The Fords were with the Fords, Chevys were with the Chevys, Toyotas with the Toyotas. Well,
I'm so tired of it.
No, you're all right. Kyle Busch comes on the radio. Is like, Wayne, why don't we just forfeit this race right now? Because they were trying to move to the front at the end of the stage 1. And you hear Kyle Busch come on the over the radio, and they have we have an in-car radio for Kyle Busch here. Why don't we just retire from the race or forfeit this race? We ain't moving. We're not doing anything.
There was a time, Ryan, where I think it was the end of stage 2, where they split off into the 3 different packs. There was like the lead pack, which had a bunch of Chevys and Fords in it. There was one that was pretty much all Chevys. And then there was one that was just the Toyotas. And the Toyotas are starting to try to make their move to the front. The only problem is all the Chevys in front of them are like racing for position, and they can't go anywhere because they're racing for position. I'm like, I turned to Gwen, and I was like, I guarantee Cal's getting pissed off in that car right now that they can't move to the front. And you say that confirms that for me.
He was livid. I even told Sarah that, and Sarah starts laughing her ass off about that. And I'm like, it's one race. It's one race. I get it. I understand you're the defending champion. You want to go out there. You want to have a strong showing in the Daytona 500. You've never won the damn thing. And there was something too when he blew up and they interviewed him on Fox. And he had mentioned honor to Dale Earnhardt, how it took an individual we know X amount of tries to finally win one, and he finally won one. He's like, maybe that's the kind of luck I'm having.
You know, the thing was, Ryan, is I thought Kyle was super smart to keep running around the track because, okay, so the big one happens with Logano, Almirola, Keselowski. Logano's on the hot seat with Penske, I kind of feel, because that's the second time in 2 races at Daytona that he has spun his teammate, basically, or been the reason for his teammate wrecking. But during that whole sequence, Kyle was blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Logano got into him on in the tri-oval. They went 4 wide. They went 4 wide.
Oh, yeah.
And Kyle got in the wall. It knocked something. It made something go bad in the car. I don't know what. I don't know if it cut an oil line or whatever. And every lap around, you'd see that smoke getting more and more, but he's just running around on the apron. And we're like, why isn't he on pit road yet? Then the big one happens. The reason why is he was staying out so he can get points. And you don't hear too much about points racing anymore because it's all about wins. That was very smart. It got him the max amount of points he could get, even though his car was crippled. He still was able to. A couple other guys who did the same thing were Jimmy Johnson, Cole Custer. Cole Custer had I believe it was the rear end went out in that car.
Yep.
He still rode around to get as many points as he could. Jimmy Johnson got to the end of pit road. After that, couldn't go anymore. Just it wouldn't go. But just smart moves. You don't hear too much about guys racing for points anymore. That was smart there.
Yes, it was.
Martin Truex Jr. hit Chase Elliott's fuel cell. That was weird because I was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom at the end of the stage. Knew they were coming to pit road. So I was like, all right, I'm going to beat the line of the bathroom because the bathroom's only like as soon as you go down the steps into the little tunnel area, you know what I mean? And as soon as you go out there, the bathroom's right there. So I'm like, I'm going to beat everyone else there. I'm just going to go this way and come back.
And the hot dog stand, right?
Well, the hot dog stand was closed. Only the ones on the main levels were open.
See, that's the thing. That's another time for another place, but go ahead.
But anyway, I come back up and they're like, oh, and Martin Truex Jr. hit a fuel cell. Wonder who that came from. And then I hear the culprit of the fuel cell was Chase Elliott. I'm like, damn it. It's always something. But no, that was just a weird incident. And then the Ross Chastain wreck, the second big one. I see all the cars go by, and I see Ross dive to the bottom, and I'm like, he's going to try to pass everybody. Sure enough, he gets to the entrance of one, all the way on the apron, gets bumped, shoots back up the track, and I'm like, well, he tried it. I saw it coming. He tried it.
I have no problem with him trying that move. I have absolutely no problem with it. He didn't go below the yellow line. He was right there. He just got a little loose, came up and slammed.
I mean, the hole was there. You can't deny that the hole was there.
Oh, God, yeah, it was.
It's just, I think when you're carrying that much speed into the corner, there's only one place for your car to go, and it's up.
Yep, up or down.
But the Daytona 500, and this is the best way I can describe it, was such a great race. It was a great Daytona 500 race. It was everything you could have ever wanted it to be. It was great racing. There was a lot of, there wasn't too much single file action going on because as soon as they get single file, someone would try to duck out and then a race for the lead would ensue.
Yep.
It was a great Daytona 500 and it's going to only be remembered for the last lap crash. And that's why people aren't going to view it as a perfect Daytona 500, but it truly had everything entertainment-wise you could want.
And, I mean, you can still call it a great Daytona 500 because guess what? We have the great result. Ryan Newman is with us. He's out of the hospital with the family. So I have to agree.
Amen.
I thought it was
Amen.
Thank you. I thought it was a great race. I mean, the finish, I didn't like who won, but like you said, give credit to where the guys do. Becoming a great restrictor plate at Daytona. So
who picked that guy to win the championship this year?
I'm not going to mention his name.
I said that. It's a great way to start.
I picked him to win the championship again.
What's that?
Did I pick to win the championship?
Was it Kyle Busch you picked again?
I picked Kyle Larson.
Oh, you picked Kyle Larson to win the championship. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Your stage winners in this one. First stage was Chase Elliott. Second stage, Denny Hamlin. Race winner was Denny Hamlin. Your top five were Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, David Reagan, who
Awesome to see.
awesome run. And then Kevin Harvick was a couple laps down at one point because he got in. I think it was Eric Jones who got in the back of him and completely bent that rear end in.
Yep.
That he rounds out the top five. Your playoff standings following Daytona.
Shout out real quickly to their last Daytona 500. How about Brendan Gaughan finishing 7th?
Where'd Brandon? He gone.
Yep. No, he finished 7th for his last Daytona 500. I know he's not getting the recognition, obviously, as Jimmy is, but cool to see Brendan Gaughan, get a top 10 in his final Daytona 500.
For sure. Your playoff standings following Daytona: Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Chris Buescher, Ryan Newman, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, David Reagan, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, Corey LaJoie. I almost said Randy LaJoie. John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, and Joey Logano, who, by the way, I picked Bubba Wallace, you picked Chase Elliott. One position separated the two of them.
All right.
I won. Oh, my dark horse was Stenhouse. But
yeah, mine was Christopher Bell.
Yes, but it does not matter because neither of the two won.
No, not at all.
So you don't get the points for those. Next race is Las Vegas this Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Yeah, the West Coast swing. Do you like Vegas as the second race into the year instead of going to Atlanta?
Do I like it or do you like it?
No, do you like it?
I do. Get this out of the way.
Yeah, I like it because Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I don't like Atlanta in February. I mean,
It rains.
Yeah. And it showed the last few years attendance wise, unfortunately, because of the changing of the weather. So I love the West Coast swing second race into the year. I absolutely love it.
And the West Coast races are always good.
Yeah. And I know the teams obviously running Monday that they didn't like it, but well, guess what? It's time to go. It's go time. Guess what?
Yep.
The Super Bowl is done. It's Logan saying hi to the podcast. So
this is really, Ryan, when the season begins. Daytona's out of the way. This is where you see all the off-season changes really take effect. I've got my eye. They were talking about it during, I don't know if it was the duels or qualifying. The Hendrick cars did a lot to work on their intermediate track package and all that, and a lot of research into it, and a lot of time on the simulators and all that. This is where we get to see if all of that work has paid off for Hendrick, because it's been an abysmal last couple of years.
Yes, it has.
So I'm really interested to see it as a Hendrick fan, just like I know you are.
Oh, yeah.
So for us, this is where the season begins, too.
I think it's like that with all these drivers, too. They knew going into the Daytona 500, hey, this is our Super Bowl. Let's win this race. Well, guess what? Denny Hamlin's already locked into the playoffs. I mean, that's the only thing different right there is now that he's locked into the playoffs. But now this real season begins.
Yep. All right. Let's get on some tire up. We got some news to go over, Ryan.
All right.
Left side. Pull this left fender out, left side.
All right. First bit of news this week is Ross Chastain will be driving the number 6 this weekend for Roush Fenway Racing in place of Ryan Newman, which I think it's a great shot for Ross. I didn't know if Ross would be the driver because I know he's got some Chevy ties to him, but apparently Roush cleared that up. He is going to be in that number 6 Ford this weekend.
I was reading on Twitter. There was a lot of people on Twitter that wanted Matt back in the car, Carl back in the car. Somebody even said put Mark Martin back into the car.
Well, I don't see Mark Martin happening. I think I said I said Chase Briscoe, and who else did I say that was in the
Wouldn't have been a
Ty
bad choice.
Majeski? I said Ty Majeski.
Yeah, Majeski wouldn't have been bad. Hell, Haley Deegan put her in the car.
Yeah, that really could. She's a Ford driver.
She is.
Daytona Monday, and this I don't know the actual stat. I'm saying what I think I heard.
Saying what you think you heard. All right, so
this might not be factual, but that Daytona Monday, the ratings were higher than any Indy 500 of the last 5 years.
Really?
Have more viewers than any Indy 500 of the last 5 years.
Hmm.
And I meant to source it before we started the show, and I honestly shouldn't have probably said it, but I'm gonna look it up.
That's very interesting, though. I mean, because you remember when they did the primetime one where the Juan Pablo drilled the jet dryer?
Yeah.
The ratings were high for that race, too.
Oh, man, where was it?
I know the ratings on Sunday were really high, too, but only 20 laps in.
Yeah, it's... Well, and a lot of people say, well, you know, Indianapolis Motor Speedway seats more people. And where that is true, okay, so take out the seat difference, take out that difference, and still, Daytona still had more viewers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. So what would you think the attendance was on Monday? Because they did announce a sellout.
I mean, it wasn't 101,000. It was like...
I'd say close to 80.
It was more than 50% capacity.
Yeah, because there was somebody on Twitter asked on Sunday night if he said over or under 50,000 for...
Here it is, Ryan. Here's the tweet. Austin Karp, at Austin Karp, tweeted it. Daytona 500, 7.026 million on a Monday afternoon. Still higher than each Indy 500 since 2008.
That's crazy. And I think the Indy 500s have been some damn good races lately, too.
And a lot of people are in the responses, but I thought NASCAR was a dying sport.
Yes.
But, I mean, the Indy 500 is their version of the Daytona 500. So ratings are always going to be bigger, you know?
Two of the most crown jewel races in the world right there. Indy and Daytona.
Yeah. So I
and
just...
obviously
that,
Monaco.
My hearing of that was true. I did read that right.
Okay, all right,
Except
cool.
it was more than 5 years. It's been since 2008. It's been like 12 years.
Yeah,
Where are we at? The charter agreement is extended through 2024, which that's cool. That's cool. Everyone gets it. It's still kind of like a provisional thing, but whatever, you know. It's really not that big of a news, I guess.
No, I mean...
It's weird because I get confused when like teams buy their charter, but now they get this charter here. It gets really confusing.
Yes, it does.
The NASCAR Cup Series trophy is now been named the Bill France Cup. Awesome.
I love it.
You give tribute to the founder of the sport that we all love. I love it. And last but not least, Steve Phelps says, quote, NASCAR is not for sale. Remember last year, we were going through a couple of news articles that said it was for sale. However, that is not the case. It is not for sale, according to Steve Phelps.
I wanted to ask you, too, while you were at the track, did you see anything in relations with Monster anywhere?
Yes, because there is now, like, I think it's 4 or 5 actual sponsors of the Cup Series.
That's why they just call it NASCAR Cup Series now.
It's Busch, Coca-Cola, Monster, Xfinity. Is that it? Is Geico? Is Geico the 5th? Geico might be the 5th.
Okay.
So, yes, Monster is still affiliated. Actually, we saw a Monster hauler heading towards the track on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
There was... Actually, you know, now that I think of it, I don't remember seeing any Monster branding other than what was on the infield.
Oh, okay.
But they're still a part of the sport, like where they had Monster on the pit entrance, that asphalt that's right there. It used to be painted with the Monster M.
Yeah.
It was now Advent Health, which is huge in Florida in sponsoring Daytona and all that. So there was that. But
all right.
That is all I have. Let's get some social media, Ryan.
All right.
Social media, we are up to 1,997 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, which means we will hit 2,000 by next week's show.
Right.
We are up to 329 followers on Twitter, 75 likes on Facebook, 25 subscribers on YouTube. New follower shoutouts this week include, which this one, Ryan, was the absolute coolest to me.
All right.
Todd Angeli, at Todd_Angeli. Todd Angeli is the Bruins anthem singer. Everyone knows that I'm a huge Bruins fan, and to get that follow this week was awesome. That made
And
my
me
day.
being an Oilers and Red Wings fan, I watching playoff hockey. I think he does a fabulous job at singing the national anthem.
Did you know, Ryan, that Todd Angeli,
He's a bartender.
he's a bartender who just took over for Rene Rancourt 2 years ago, who was the old Bruins announcer, or a year ago, and he just auditioned. He's been bartending at the TD Garden for years now. They heard his voice, said, "Hey, why don't you come audition for this?" And he's been the Bruins anthem singer ever since. And he still is a bartender after he's done singing the anthem.
Yeah, he sings and then he gets back up there and finishes the shift out.
Hey,
Hey,
how do you
he
do that?
gets
Like, how do you tell your boss, like, I need about 10 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
But that is awesome. We were also followed by Andrew Flynn at AF Tire Guy and Suzette McGuire at McGuire Suzette. Thank you all for following the show. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Podcast shoutouts this week include, as always, the Lap Traffic Podcast, the PTM Racing Podcast, the 3 Wide Podcast, which, congratulations to Eddie.
Yes.
His adopted child was born this week, which is awesome. Great news for Eddie. I heard everyone is doing okay there. Make sure you follow the Side Draft Podcast, All Turns No Breaks Podcast, and the Final Lap Weekly. And once again, congratulations, Eddie, from all of us here at your family, the Loose Lugs Podcast.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yep, congratulations indeed. Some places you can find us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube in your search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe, follow, and turn on that notification bell so every time you do that, or every time we upload new content, you can hear the ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
I really messed that up, by the way. That was like, I was thinking about other things, and I really messed up that. So go in your search bar, search in the Loose Lugs Podcast, hit subscribe, hit follow, turn on the notification bell so you can hear the notification bell ding. Ryan?
All right, we'll do it again. Wilder Fury 2. Ding, ding, ding. Let's get it on.
That's right. That's this weekend.
It is.
Deontay Wilder for the win.
I think so, too.
On Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast, and you can tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod. And on Facebook, in your search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Our personal Twitter accounts, myself, is at GrayGooseF150, and Ryan?
Rencola 88. And yes, we did throw in a boxing reference here on the podcast.
Yes, we did.
Woo!
We did. Ryan, we reached the point in the show where you can rant, but did you get all your rants out?
I got them in. I just wanted to mention
mine
real
out,
quickly.
I don't got anything.
Very skeptical about the two-man booth at Fox. I had mentioned it last week after the Bush clash. I thought they did a very nice job. It is definitely going to take some getting used to. Excuse me. But they go to Larry and Jamie Mack all the time in the studio, so it's like, why don't you just have those guys in?
You're waiting. You're like waiting for that third voice. I mean, I've only saw the duels with it.
Yeah.
So like it feels like you're waiting for that third voice to come in, and they need Michael Waltrip back in the pits because that was cool.
Yeah, I thought Mikey was great.
All right, is that all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, it's going to take a while to get used to it. AJ, I know you're going to hear it this weekend at Vegas.
Yep, and I'd probably rewatch the Daytona 500 tonight. I was actually, before we started the show, I was watching the 79 Daytona 500 because the full race is on nice. YouTube.
Oh, very nice.
Which was courtesy of the Dale Jr. download earlier. They were talking about how that race really cemented NASCAR, and everyone knows about the fight, but I've never actually watched the race. And I know Richard Petty wins, but once again, I never actually watched a replay of the race.
The best is Ken Squire, and there's a fight.
So I started watching that. I probably finished that before I rewatch the 500 from Sunday. But moving on to white flag, we got some predicting to do.
Tight, keep working the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only two.
All right, so kicking things off, we have the Truck Series tomorrow night, and I won last week. I swept everything. I got to even throw in a win there with Noah Gragson, so I get the bonus 2 points. I'm up 4-0 to start the year, Ryan. I get first pick, too, for like the first time ever.
Yeah, how about that?
So in the truck series, I am going with the 18 of Christian Eckes. Ryan.
Good pick, good pick. I am going to go with Zane Smith.
Zane Smith. I got to write these down so this way, because we're keeping close track this year.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, guys, it's back. My tablet's back. Woo, woo, woo. I didn't know I didn't have the tablet last week, so I'm like, man, who did I? Because I'm watching the Xfinity race, and I'm like, who the hell did I pick? So I had to go back and watch the episode with our picks last week. So
on the Xfinity Series side, Ryan,
go ahead.
I'm going with Riley Herbst.
All right, Toyota.
218s.
I am gonna go Justin Haley.
Justin Haley. All right. The Cup Series, Ryan, I am going with the 22 of Joey Logano.
And I'm going to go -1. I'm going to go with the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto.
D Burrito. I can just put that in, know who it is. My sleeper is going to be the 20 of Eric Jones.
My sleeper is the 41 of Cole Custer.
All right. Wow. This show has flown by, actually.
Yeah, it has.
We've hit the end point of the show, which is I wasn't even ready to get the outro music started yet.
Oh, wow.
We flew through that. Well, what felt like we flew through it. We've been live for an hour and a half now.
Yeah, it seemed like we've been on for a little bit. I know, obviously, we had that. We had to get what we had to say about the at the beginning.
Super
I know
happy that Ryan Newman's okay, man. That was scary for sure.
We're all thankful that he's all right.
Well, Ryan, we've hit the end of the program. You know what to do.
Guys, one more day, weekend, racing, Vegas. Let's gamble. See you at the track.
I like how you threw that in there. Special thanks to everyone who came out and talked to us in the chat. Tony and Patrick, we appreciate y'all so much. Thank you all for tuning in tonight here on the live stream. And if you're not tuning on the live stream, but you downloaded the podcast on Podbean, iTunes, or Stitcher, we appreciate you. Come back sometime, maybe in the live stream, talk with us. You know, we try to talk to y'all who come in here and discuss whatever y'all want to talk about too. So, like I said, it's been fun having y'all on here tonight, and we're going to Las Vegas. What was the old saying about Las Vegas that Darryl Waltrip used to always say?
Let's gamble.
Let's see how many times we can say gamble this weekend.
That's right.
We're going all in. See you next week.